What's up, folks? Tripsmith here. And if you folks know me, I do a lot of adventures, overnight camping adventures on the water. Most of the time, I go alone. And I get a lot of people who send me messages or emails and say, hey, Trip, I want to join you on a trip. I considered taking people with me, but most of the time, I go alone. So why is that? I have several reasons, and some of them might actually surprise you. When I'm on these adventures, I'm filming. So a lot of times it can be difficult to film if there was someone there, or if I was bringing someone along, I would want them to enjoy the experience. And if I was filming like, hey man, let's stop real quick and film this shot, or hey, I didn't get that right, or hey, could you be quiet just for a second, or hey, we need to go ahead and go so we can be at this spot at the right light, or something or another. See, I wouldn't want to just ruin someone else's trip, because if someone was with me, I don't want them to have the best experience possible. And also, whenever I do go on these adventures, and I don't have a lot of time to go on them, but when I do go, I have to film. Like, it's kind of a curse, the nature of the beast, that I've created this YouTube channel, so when I go, I have to film. And sometimes when you're filming, to get that extra shot, or to do something or another, epic or cool, it might take a little bit more effort, or you may have to do something that you typically wouldn't do. You may have to paddle a little bit more, or hurry up and get somewhere, not enjoy this spot enough. And I wouldn't want someone else being there to hinder me and the quality of shots that I might get. So if I'm devoting my time, my resources, and my effort to film these adventures, I wouldn't want to miss that shot that would create a better story for you guys, the audience. Now, what if I said, okay, yeah, come on. Well, I'm not sure who I'm going with, right? I'm not sure what their experience is. I'm not sure how comfortable they are in the water. I'm not sure how comfortable they are with storms. I'm not sure how comfortable they are with being cold. What if it starts to suck? A lot of times it does suck. It sucked this morning. Going across the Gulf of Mexico, worrying about my fuel. It was cold. It was rough. Not exactly as smooth as I'd hoped. I mean, the sun wasn't out, I was wet, but it made some good video, and it was a great adventure to me. But I don't know if everyone would really enjoy that. Some people may think they enjoy it, and they enjoy the thought of it, but in that moment when, things, you don't know how they're gonna go, they may not enjoy it as much as I do. Always an adventure, baby! Woo! So not knowing who I'm going with and what they're capable of could be a big deal if we really did get in a hairy situation. Or what if I had to cancel a trip or call a trip short early, because someone else wasn't comfortable. But if I was by myself, I would have continued through the storm, or I would have continued when something bad went wrong. That would have made a great video. And then how do I make it fair to all the hundreds and hundreds of people who say, hey Trip, I live in so-and-so, whenever you come here, hit me up, let's do an adventure together, or blah, 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 because I get a lot of those. So how would I make it fair for everyone? Because there's no way that I could do that with everyone. And now maybe I would be going with someone who was tough and could go through the suck, but what if it really started to suck and I wasn't sure how much they were enjoying it? How would that affect my attitude and my filming abilities and my interaction with the camera? It just may not all be there in that case, and I really am doing this for you guys behind the lens, right? Okay, well, let's say maybe I did decide to take someone. Would I plan as epic or as dangerous or as risky trips as I do? Granted, they're not like super dangerous or risky, but I may kind of walk that line every once in a while. I may do some things that are questionable in a legal sense. I'm not like breaking like super laws or anything. I may be doing things that I may not want to put someone else in that position, because I kind of do that at my own risk. And I would hate not to be doing those things, because I feel like those make for a great adventure and a better video for you folks. And sometimes when I'm taking some different risks and going into some sketchy situations, I know my own personal capabilities. I know my limitations. I don't know that other person's limitations. I don't know how someone else may react if we get in a tight situation and it's just split-second decisions, that have to be made really quick. You never know how someone else is going to react, but I somewhat know how I'm going to react, or at least there's no one else to blame if the reaction is wrong. But I have been in quite a few situations, me going on all these adventures, but also being a firefighter, stuff has kind of taught me a little bit on how to react in a tense situation. Now, sometimes on my adventures, I keep a pretty high pace. I'm always running and gunning, and I keep myself healthy, so I can, have that sustained energy level as much as possible. I can keep going and keep going. How do I know who I'm bringing with me if they're healthy, or, if they have any medical conditions, or, if they're just able to sustain through all this running and gunning? And I'd hate, like I said, to sacrifice, an adventure, because it may be the only time I get to go to these places. If there's one more spot out there that I really want to see, but someone else is tired, or they're not able to walk that far, or hike that far, or swim that far, or paddle that far, or whatever, ride in rough water that far, I wouldn't want to miss that. Then there's the element of just being alone. sometimes I really enjoy being alone. But of course, I'm not an introvert by any means. I absolutely love being with people and meeting new people and hanging out with people. But sometimes on an adventure, I do enjoy being alone. Another thing is scheduling. Right now I'm a career firefighter. A lot of times I take these trips during the week when a lot of other people are going to be working. And a lot of times I don't know where I'm going to be going until 2 or 3 days before I leave. Kind of like this trip. I wasn't really sure if I was going to come here depending on the weather and other things. But I made it happen, and I just said, okay, this is where I'm going. I got up and I just came down. Having someone else to plan with and things, it would just make things tricky. Another thing is personality. If I brought someone with me and I didn't know them, how do I know they're going to get there and they could not have the greatest personality, especially on camera? If I wanted to be on camera, of course, if you're with me, I'd probably want you to be on camera a little bit. But what if they just froze up in the camera? Or they just didn't know what to do with their hands, or something along those lines? Or what if they just yap, talk too much, and I'm just like, shut up, because that could happen too, right? So you never know what you're gonna get when you just bring someone with you. I know that kind of sounds bad, but I mean, it's something to consider. I do think it's great that people will send me messages and say, Trip, I want to go on an adventure with you. I want to do it. And I wish I could do that. And one day, maybe I'll be able to do more things like that. But I am planning on doing more things like SKIF rallies. We're going to continue doing RockaDock. And the reason that those events were born, RockaDock and the SKIF rallies, was because people were asking to go. And I'm like, man, okay, all right, let's see if I can make something where I can bring people with me. So if you do want to join me on an adventure, join me at RockaDock. Join me at a SKIF rally, because they're going to be happening more and more. Hopefully here in the near future, I'll be able to ramp those up even more often. So that would be fantastic, because I would really love to meet you. Seriously, I would love to meet you. I'd love to be paddling with you. I'd love to be on the water with you. I'd love to be chilling with you on a beach somewhere or at a spring. I really want to. But just when I'm filming a dedicated video or an adventure, it can be a little tricky. I hope you understand that now. But I really want you to come hang out in some form or fashion, whether it's when I'm streaming live or whether it's at one of my events. I would love to have you there. But thank you so much for wanting to be with me, and I appreciate everyone who supports the channel by watching, by liking, by leaving comments, by supporting the channel on Patreon, by buying merchandise, t-shirts and stickers, and by showing up at the events. I'm making this video so that I can add this video to those messages when people say, Trip, I want to go. I'll be like, well, here, watch this video real quick. All right, folks, take care of yourselves. Get out there. God bless, and I'll see you on the next video or adventure. And I'm filming one right now, all by myself. All by myself. And it is beautiful out here at Dog Island today. Although it was cold and nasty earlier. All right, folks. See ya. Love ya.